A very good evening and thank you for joining GBS News at 9. My name is Susan Nganga and our sign language interpreter tonight is Alan Kiama. We begin this bulletin. We are barely 7 months in office. The Democracy for the Citizens Party, led by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and its delegates today led a high-level meeting at its headquarters in Westlands, Nairobi, as it celebrated the victory of its 3 aspirants in the just concluded November 27th by-elections. The victories of the party candidates, according to Gachagua, highlighted their proficiency ahead of the 2007 general elections. The DCP principal Gachagua further warned the ODM party of their political marriage with the President Ruto's led UDA party, saying the union will lead to their collapse. Matthew Perez has that report.
DCP? DCP?
Guided by its party's philosophy, Skiza Ground in Wakenya, DCP party says their business is sweeping all the elective seats in the country. That was vocal DCP's deputy party leader Cleophas Malala, who spoke during the welcoming ceremony of the party aspirants, who comprised of Douglas Masikonde of Narok, David Warui of Kariobangi North, and Dixon Okwiri of Kisa East Ward, who emerged victorious during the highly contested and just concluded November 27th by-elections.
Na party leader, nilisikia watu wakipiga kelele juzi ati unasema ati umesema tutachukua viti zetu. We want to confirm that hii viti yote tutachukua. Yeah. That is our business. And we are supporting our party leader. Kwamba viti zote tutachukua. Want to give them a warning, sindio?
On the other hand, DCP's de facto leader, who is also the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, faulted the Orange Democratic Party under their interim leader, Oginga Odinga, for its dalliance with the ruling UDA party, led by President William Ruto.
And let me tell ODM, you will lose every seat here in Nairobi if you follow William Ruto. Kura ya William Ruto, Nairobi ni 24,000 only. Ile alikuwa naringa nayo ilikuwa ya Rigiji, nimehama naye. Kalonzo is not with you. Mutatoa viti wapi? Wewe mtu ya Mathare Oluoch, utatoa kiti wapi? Kura ya Rigiji hapo na ya Kalonzo umeenda nyumbani. Ati mnafuata William Ruto watu ya ODM. William Ruto amenunua ODM, imeuzwa na Junet na Wanga. Tayari wamechukua deposit. Yeah?
Gachagua hailed his 7-month-old party, saying that the recent wins of their candidates underscores their robustness, capacity, and enthusiasm ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Narok seat was yours. Imeenda na DCP. Kisa East was your seat. Imeenda na DCP. Hii Purko ward ilikuwa yenu, imeenda na UDA.
The DCP commander also weighed in on the media outlets overriding on misinformation, which aims at watering down partnership of the united opposition.
I have a lot of respect for Royal Media, and I'm a fan of Royal Media. But I want to register my distinct and disappointment with Stephen Leto for that fake news and narrative you filed on Sunday. And you are there personally. Criminals came and attacked us in church. They were driven away by Christians. They came back, backed by police with guns and fought us. The OCS threw a tear gas canister in church. Then Stephen Leto files a report that police came to separate gangs who were fighting. It's a lie. It's a lie. You know? Stephen Leto says that police did not throw tear gas canister in church. We were there in church when the OCS threw a tear gas canister. Let's be professional, and you need to correct it. I am very disappointed with Nation, Taifa Leo, for reporting yesterday that I said Kikuyu should be elected in Nairobi when you know it's a lie. You be professional. Give a clip where Rigiji said that these 75 seats should go to Kikuyus. It's so nonsense. They are trying to create a wedge within united opposition. The correct position is, and I said, the united positions will take 16 out of 17. And even that, the 17th one, if tukijipanga vizuri, we will take 17 out of 17. I said the united opposition will take 75 out of 85. Tukijipanga vizuri, we can take 85 out of 85. Report correctly. Don't twist narratives so that you can help William Ruto to spew nonsense. The united opposition is strong.
Matthew Perez Adungo for GBS News.
Human rights activists are gearing up for a major legal battle against the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is the IEBC, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, accusing the two bodies of failing to curb widespread electoral misconduct witnessed during the recent by-elections. But in a contrasting assessment, an electoral observers group has lauded the IEBC for what it terms a largely peaceful and well-managed exercise, as Davis Karani now reports.
The human rights lobbyists now say they have had enough. Speaking in Nairobi today, the coalition of activists announced plans to file a public interest lawsuit alleging that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission failed to enforce electoral laws.
Ngana na wale wakaguzi wetu waliokuwa kule mashinani walisema kwamba zile sheria za uchaguzi zilikuwa zinakiukwa peupe na wanasiasa na wengineo ambao walikuwa wanajihusisha katika masala kama haya. Sisi leo hii tutafikisha ripoti hii kwa tume ya uchaguzi pamoja na tume ya kupigana na ufisadi na wengineo, na tutawapea makataa ya siku 14 ili kuchukua hatua za kisheria kulingana na yale mapendekezo tuliopeana. Ikiwa hatua hazitochukuliwa, tutachukua sisi hatua ya kuweza kufika mahakamani.
The group argues that despite numerous reports and video evidence circulating online, no decisive action was taken to apprehend perpetrators or prevent further violation of the law during the voting process.
We had a police bias, selective deployment, selective arrests, and delayed response points to political influence. We had complicit administration, chiefs, assistant chiefs, and county commissioners openly took political sides. IEBC's weakness was failure to disqualify violators or enforce basic rules, emboldened offenders. Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission ineffectiveness. We had zero visible action against public officers engaged in political campaigning.
In Mbeere North, on 19th of November 2025, a peaceful meeting in Siakago town was disrupted by a group of rowdy youths who chased attendees and injured 2 women. Witnesses insisted that these youths had earlier been seen in government-marked vehicles.
They claim that the by-election exposed systemic weakness that must be addressed before Kenya heads into any major national poll.
The same Mbeere North, on the 25th of November 2025, running battles erupted near the Deputy County Commissioner's office after 2 rival camps confronted each other. Despite the proximity to state offices, security officers took no action until the chaos escalated.
But even as the activists prepare for litigation, the Independent Electoral Observers Network has issued a sharply different assessment. In its preliminary report, the observers praised the IEBC for conducting what they called a calm and a largely peaceful election, crediting polling officials for following procedures and ensuring that counting and credible results transmission.
Our observations on the technical operations on the E-Day, and a lot of this I think we were able to highlight in our previous statement. The technical aspects, which included setup of stations, availability of strategic materials, kit operations, voting, counting, and the declaration of results, were generally conducted well by polling officials, despite the politicized environment obtained during the by-elections. However, a number of serious issues were noted.
Back at the activists' camp, the planned lawsuit is expected to challenge not only the conduct of the electoral officials, but also enforcement role of the EACC, which they accuse of failing to curb rampant voter bribery. As the two contrasting narratives emerge, one praising the electoral body, the other demanding its prosecution, the fate of Kenya's electoral integrity may soon be tested once again, this time in the courtroom. Davis Karani for GBS News.
A chilling wave of insecurity has swept through Kahawa West after nighttime raid left a security guard dead and goods valued at more than 2.5 million stolen in what residents and authorities says are describing one of the most brazen attacks in the area this year. According to preliminary police reports, the gang, believed to have carefully monitored the premises, stuck in the early hours of the morning, overpowering the guard before breaking into the building and making away with high-value electronics and assorted merchandise. The incident has reignited growing concerns over rising criminal activity in Nairobi outcasts, with shaken business owners now demanding heightened patrols, improved surveillance and swift action to bring perpetrators to book as investigations intensify.
They have really shocked us by killing our security. That was the most saddest news nimesikia. Wafadhali wangebeba kila kitu, but kuua huyo alikuwa Masai. It was inch of 40 hapo.
Hii si kitu ya kwanza kufanyiwa hii. Ilianza kutoka kitambo sana. Zaidi ya kitambo zaidi kutoka Sambaya huko chini wamama kuliwa Kamae na pia Reri, huko hakuna security ya kutosha. Usiku saa 1, 6, 5, saa 10 mtu anatoka kazi yake anaongea na mtu kwa simu kwa barabara, shanyang'anywa simu. Ukiangalia hata hizi bodaboda zinaundwa inakuwa ni kama ya kwenda mbio ambao ndio wanazitumia ili wakuiba wizi.
One of the victim wenye wasaa waivamiwa na wengi wanakuanga na mapikipiki. Nikaenda nikaongea na OCS na OCPD wa Kahawa West, wakatuambia wata improve. Tukaenda tukaandikisha statement, and since that time up to date we have never seen any.
And now to some international news. The United Nations is raising renewed concerns over growing human rights violations in Uganda. This follows reports of activists being detained without communication, violent disruption of opposition rallies, and allegations of torture. The UN is now calling for full, impartial investigations and accountability from Ugandan authorities.
The UN Human Rights Office says there is still no clear indication that Ugandan authorities have conducted a proper investigation into recent human rights violations. In one case, 2 Kenyan activists were reportedly detained after attending an opposition rally in Uganda, held incommunicado for more than a month in what President Museveni described as the fridge, before being handed over to Kenya.
And there is no indication that a thorough investigation has been carried out into this case by the competent authorities. In another recent case, 2 Kenyan activists who were arbitrarily detained in Uganda shortly after attending an opposition rally were handed over to the Kenyan authorities after more than a month of incommunicado detention in what the Ugandan president called the fridge.
Even our own groups here, we monitor them with intelligence. Here, of course, we have very good intelligence, and we know them. Like, for instance, we have got 2 Kenyans whom we arrested. They have been with us. I have their names, but I don't remember their names. They came. They were working with Chagulanyi's group. That they are experts in riots.
The agency also notes a heavy deployment of armed security officers at a location where the opposition NAP party plans rallies. Last week, forces allegedly used live ammunition in the eastern town of Yanga.
Heavily armed security forces have been deployed at locations where the opposition NUP party is scheduled to conduct rallies. Last week, they reportedly used live ammunition in the eastern town of Iganga.
The UN is urging Uganda to investigate and force disappearances, arbitrary arrest, and torture claims, hold perpetrators accountable, and compensate victims. It is also calling for the release of all persons unlawfully detained and for authorities to stop violence against opposition groups and the media in line with international human rights obligations.
We urge the Ugandan authorities to fully and impartially investigate all allegations of enforced disappearance, arbitrary arrest and detention, and torture or ill treatment, to punish those accountable, and to provide full reparation to the victims. All individuals arbitrarily deprived of their liberty should be released. The Ugandan authorities must halt all violence against the media and the opposition and act fully in accordance with their obligations under international human rights law.
Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul Elmina.
And with that, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platforms at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is always 21144. We'll be right back.
We're going to be discussing dream chasing versus stability. Dream chasing versus stability.
Okay, dream chasing nayo ni ngumu. Unaweza kuwa una chase impossible dreams. But yet unaweza kuwa una chase possible dreams. So wewe tu ngangana na dream yako, one day utafika hapo.
Ukifika certain stage in life, make decisions peke yako, ndio ukiregret usikuwa na mtu wa kublame. Just go for it. Ndio kikikuuma ni wewe imeuma.
Kuramba.
Like you work out pia all the best because si kila time utafail na si kila time utasucceed. But hauwezi jua kama hujajaribu.
Mimi nitakuja hapa nikudanganye, soft life. Unajua hiyo soft life inatoka wapi? You guys just want to fly badala you take the stairs step by step. Obviously mtu wako pale juu alianzia somewhere. You can't tell me ati kama kuna alternative utafanya. Si basi wewe fanya. If that's what you want. Would you rather earn less doing what you love ama earn more doing what you hate?
Mimi hata sita kudanganya ati napenda kukufia nchi yangu just because of the money that is there. Si ati anapenda kukua KDF but it's because of the money that is there.
Okay, men are not smart like women. I'm
going
to say that for a fact. If me and Rachel say to pay 1 million, mwaka mmoja, hiyo million itakuwa hata maybe 10. But if a man unashikanga tu na kiburi sasa ndio unavaa
The best thing is that you can make something for yourself. May I just say that? Like you can just let your mind be creative. You're not limiting it, and you create something. And every time I make something, I just look at it and I'm like, wow. What do you mean no? I just be like that. Yes.
And what do you think is required for someone to make it in the fashion industry? So umekuja na mapochopocho. You've come with like really amazing things. Utatuanzia na anza from the front ukikuja to the back.
Okay. That is something when you look at it like this, you'll have to sit down and figure it out. Like how did this person make this wallet? See, this is art. And also create yarn from like t-shirts. Yes. So that's what I'm trying to change. I want to create sustainable fashion where you don't have to go and buy yarn to crochet. You can just create yarn at your space, or you can go and thrift clothes, clothes made of yarn.
Hi kids, welcome to Kids Mind, where we learn, we laugh, and we explore. So kids, are you ready to listen to our today's Bible story? Are you ready to listen?
You're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands.
Samson was a mighty man, a mighty man was he. Samson was a mighty man, a mighty man was he. Samson was a mighty man, a mighty man was he. Between a want or a need, which one is more wise?
everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin, and now to the sports news. Barcelona women midfielder Aitana Bonmati is facing lengthy layoff after suffering a serious leg injury during training with Spain. The 27-year-old was preparing for the second leg of the Women's National League final against Germany in Madrid when she fell awkwardly, breaking a leg in the process. After undergoing surgery, Barcelona confirmed she will be sidelined for up to 5 months, a huge blow to both her club and the national team. The timeline for her recovery means Bonmati is likely to miss the remainder of the season, with Barcelona's final league match scheduled for May 31st. While the club has not confirmed the exact return date, it's clear that her absence will be felt deeply given a critical role in both Barcelona's midfield and Spain's success on the international stage. Chelsea head coach Enzo Maresca has confirmed that Cole Palmer is expected to return to the starting lineup for today's clash against Leeds United. After missing recent action due to fitness concerns, Palmer's availability comes as a major boost for the Blues as they look to regain momentum. Maresca emphasized Palmer's importance to the squad, noting that his creativity and goal threat have been difficult to replace in the recent matches. The manager expressed confidence that the young star is now ready to step back into his influential role at the heart of Chelsea's attack. Leeds United, meanwhile, come into the matchup prepared for the added challenge. With Palmer back in the field, Chelsea will be hoping to deliver a sharper, more dynamic performance in front of their home supporters as they target a crucial result in today's fixture.
The last game, he was on the bench. For sure, with 10 players was more complicated, for Cole, because now he needs to come back in terms of also fitness condition. He's available. He can start the game. The idea with him is to start giving minutes until he can, play. He can play 90 minutes. Farke played more than 200 games with the Norwich, and he played just 16 or 17 games with back five, and he play always back four. With the Leeds, he play all games with back four, unless second half against City, back five. They were 2-0 down, 2-2, and they could danger that. So now, what do you think they do? I don't know.
Former England international Eni Aluko, who was born in Nigeria, has made a powerful call for the African Cup of Nations to be treated with the same respect as the World Cup and the European Championships. Speaking at the London leg of the Diaspora Tour ahead of next month's tournament in Morocco, Aluko challenged the nation that African football should seek validation from European critics, saying it's growing rapidly and attracting a global audience. As AFCON 25 draws near, Aluko said African football is thriving with top stars making an impact in the Premier League and around the world. Despite the tournament clashing with busy European schedules, officials from the Confederation of African Football are confident the continent's best will be there to compete. The tournament kicks off in Rabat on December 21st with Morocco facing Comoros and runs until January 18th.
Well, the only impact it will have is if the players who play in the Premier League don't turn up or don't go. I think that, international football should always take priority. Players should not be restricted from representing their countries. And in the same way we respect the World Cup and, other international competitions, we should respect the AFCON. So I don't know whether there's still a bit of shifting to do in terms of the scheduling of the AFCON. I think they've shown enough flexibility in terms of moving it again from January to Christmas. I think there's challenges if it's in the summer. There's challenges playing in Africa in that heat. So there's, you know, you can't win everything, right? So you know, you gotta give it priority because it's an important tournament for the African continent.
And with that, you have come to the end of the news bulletin. It's always a pleasure having you on board. My name is Susan Nganga, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kiama. Have a good night.